So the main ones, the main one, and we have seen yesterday already quite some presentations on the issue, is deforestation regulation. We started in 23 to face it even before. So it's something that really took a lot of time and effort from every side, public and private, because I can ensure that this was quite something to tackle also on the public side. So we did it. We were very much worried on the private side, both on both consuming and producing countries, maybe more producing countries, but also consuming countries were very much worried about it. Now we are also facing a request, a very strange request of reclassification of methylene chloride. And this reclassification request comes up with no scientific evidence to rediscuss. So it's quite strange. Why are we discussing reclassification when nothing new to justify this is out? The work is done on old works. And the only work that was published in 2021 was, at the contrary, confirming the good reclassification, the prudent reclassification that it's now in place. Then we have seen, everybody has seen who's operating coffees, the impressive increase in prices for coffee, which is itself, it's something that we have to take into account. But what is amazing also, not only the rise in price that we had, but the volatility of this rising, the extreme volatility. So we are like in the roller coasters sometime. I feel like a roller coaster when I look at the prices, even though the trend goes up, steadily up. And it was interesting to look also to what Vanuzia told us yesterday. So to see that in 2024 we have a small surplus after years of deficit. So maybe this surplus means something. Let's see, because in reality, what we do know, it's important also to notice what the state of stocks in consuming countries is, because it's definitely important to the reaction of the various news of the market. The market reacts to the various news, knowing or not we have a certain stock on which we can count or not. And now stocks are very, very low in consuming countries. And last but not least, corporate sustainability due diligence directive, which is which is targeting big companies, not small companies, but it's something also that, as we will see, it's also related in somehow to the EU deforestation, because in EU deforestation we have a due diligence statement, which is in a lighter way what already corporate sustainability due diligence directive see and forecasts for bigger companies. So if we look at the deforestation regulation again, we have to, first of all, there is a big challenge in meeting the requirements. As I've already said yesterday, we are now facing a 12-month postponement. That will still needs to be confirmed at in the next meeting of the European Parliament. So all the steps are there already. What is lacking right now, it's the approval from the European Parliament, and we count to see it within November, and this will postpone 12 months the entry into force of this regulation. Will this be enough? We don't know. We hope so. We don't know. It's better than nothing. But still, we have to look forward and see how we are able to react on all of the sides. What does it mean, the entry into force? Entry into force should have been end of this year for big companies and medium companies. There is a little bit of confusion. I struggle to understand why they, in the regulation, you have a due diligence statement simplified for small, medium enterprises. But then the entry into force is postponed 6 months, so meaning end of June, up to now, 2025. Hopefully it will be end of June 2026 for small and micro enterprises. So there is one treatment on the due diligence statement and another treatment for the postponement. So why not keeping it all for SMEs or simplification? It's something I really don't understand. Also, the postponement and the dimension of the companies. The reference is to Directive 34 of 2013, when the last regulation that states the dimension of the companies for the UE is in 2023. Why this? And you have to look at the dimension with your balance sheet of end 2020. So it's not so immediate, not so easy, even this, which is at the end a stupid thing. I mean, it's dimension. Be more pragmatic. Then we look at producing countries. We are facing a regulation that is enforced in consuming countries, but heavily involves and substantially targets producing countries. So this is also a delicate issue under the diplomatic side. We Europeans have a nice target. We want to be leaders in promoting a more sustainable world, especially looking at environment in this case. But what we can do in our land is limited. The impact of our action is limited to a few percentage points of improvement. Instead, we are enforcing producing countries to move in some way. And this, if you look at diplomacy, is not an easy tackle. It's not an easy target. Not at all. And initially, the reaction was a bit offended in somehow. Why are you, Europeans, coming to us to tell how to manage our countries, how to manage our environment? And this is not a banal thing, because the difficulties are there also because of this. And then, even if you look at the European Union, which had a beautiful idea. I mean, I am fully in favor of facing deforestation and having a better environment. It's in the interest of the world and in the interest of all of us and in the interest of the future generations. So it's important, no doubt. But on the other hand side, even the authorities, the competent authorities, didn't have all clear ideas. So we are still waiting, for example, to see the various benchmarks between the countries that the EU needs to issue. And all of the questions that were posed, still not all, but part of them still need to be answered. So also there. And plus, you want to face environment. Okay, sustainability has three pillars, not one pillar, 3 pillars. If you face environment, what is the impact on the social side? What is the impact on the economical side? You cannot look just to one pillar. You have to look to the 3 pillars and think, I go to tackle deforestation. What will be the effect on the social side? What will be the effect on the economical side? And why I say this, because also in the European Union, there are the various souls that do feel this situation. So thanks God, we are looking for a 12 months postponement, and we will see how this goes on and develops. And let's go forward. Again, reclassification of methane chloride is another important thing. because again, it comes with no scientific evidence, new scientific evidence, so everybody's asking, why this reclassification? What is the reason? What the request is to change the carcinogenic and mutagenic classification that in this moment has methane chloride, already prudent. And we are expecting the RAC committee to express itself within February 2025. I insist, no new scientific evidence is there to do so. So I do hope that this discussion will be kept on a scientific level, because if this is the case, we have nothing to be scared of. The methane chloride was already under discussion in the US, in front of the Assembly, Californian Assembly, who said, the scientific committee of the Californian Assembly, who said, hey guys, what are we talking about? No discussion. There is no scientific evidence. And the FDA is silent in this moment because of that. So if nothing new comes forward, the states seem to be, thanks God, pragmatic. What would happen in this case? We risk a heavy impact for decaffeinated coffee production in our sector, but not only because methane chloride is much wider used. We, in coffee, use it totally in a marginal way in quantities. So it's totally marginal in quantity use. But it's important, and including for caffeine production. If you cut methane chloride use, then you will have a crisis in natural caffeine production, definitely. And what will happen also is that the European industry will be affected. Not all the industry will be affected. So there will be this absolute disparity in between what is on the EU and what is out of the EU. Going to coffee stocks price, and stocks, I would say, because the coffee stock exchange prices is the title, but the stocks are very important also. When I will come up with the slides afterwards, and you will see the amazing increase that we had in prices and the amazing volatility within this increase. And this volatility is also allowed, not only because obviously volatility is because also of speculation, entrance and incoming and outgoing of finance in the market, because as you likely already know, the market is moved by finance and physically just in a lower portion. The low stocks increase the volatility, because if you don't have buffer stocks, the buffer means already something. These speculative issues will be much more effective, and they will have an easy game in moving the market. Then we have transit times that were dramatically impacted by the Middle East war and shipping delays, and then you know the companies that the big shipping companies have a quite interesting role in the transports, and they are very powerful. And then you have the climate change that we have already talked about, and the impact that climate change can have in production, which is an old story, but more and more present. And plus, what was up to now a constant increase in consumption, as we have seen yesterday by the ICO chart. The ICO chart showed clearly how from not long ago, I do remember more consumption at 100 million bags. Now we are 70% more. which is a lot, even more. So it's a lot in not so many years. And this increase in consumption was not homogeneous. So we had a very, very jeopardized increase in consumption. And this is impacting definitely the market. This is the Robusta chart. Everybody have seen how much Robusta has increased. I'm impressed that there is no arbitration between, there is not enough arbitration between Robusta and Arabica. It makes sense, but it's amazing how this is definitely important. So Robusta is continuing to be used as much, even though at an incredible price. Sometimes it costs more than the Arabica. And this is the Arabica. Well, in the very last period, we had a low in the market, but not really very much. If you look at the trend, it's definitely rising. The corporate sustainability due diligence directive is, is always looking to sustainability, as the title says. Has the full support of us from the European Coffee Federation. I have also that hat. And the sector is absolutely endorsing it, even though obviously it needs to be understood how to move forward, and aims to promote sustainable and responsible coffee value chains. This, again, is targeting big companies, not small companies. So it is not, even though it is recalled in the deforestation in a minor, even though in a minor way, not so minor, but still. So which are my conclusions? We are facing many challenges. We have an extremely dynamic, problematic, and full of opportunities market. When you have problems, you have opportunities. And this is affecting the dynamics and consumer prices. Sustainability is a very important word. Again, 3 pillars. I always say, please do not consider one only pillar. When you want to tackle one pillar, you have to look wider. Don't consider one pillar only. If you look at environment, you cannot forget social and economic, because you will not be effective. It's crucial for us anyway. So I fully believe in sustainability. I have a small company, and we work a lot on sustainability. We are a benefit company. It's under a law in Italy, but it's wider. It's a preparation for a B Corp. It's a simplification, bureaucratic simplification, if you want, of the B Corp. But it's a first step to the B Corp. Not too difficult to get there anyway. And we have many certifications. So I do believe I do it in my company. So no discussion. It's important. But how you do it? You cannot force in one way without forgetting what is the rest. Another thing, we had yesterday here, Vanusia, ICO and worldwide discussions and alignment is key. We are a coffee sector. The coffee is not produced in the UAE. Coffee is not produced in the US. And UAE first and US second are the major markets. But do we produce coffee? No. Or at least, no in a serious way. A few bags, yes. But it's for just playing a bit, just for interest. But if you look at, we need strongly producing countries. We need to tight relationship. We need to point on dialogue. It's number one. Without dialogue, and ICO is the place to have this dialogue. To start this dialogue, because then the dialogue has developments up to bilateral dialogue. So I'm not saying just at the ICO, but the ICO is for sure a place where we can play an important game for our sector and for our economy and for our world. In this sense, cooperation and development is also very important. It was always important, and it's even more important now, where this dialogue is crucial. Thank you.